I still remember the exact moment I knew I had lost him. It wasn't loud. There was no screaming, no crying, no door slamming. We were sitting at the kitchen table, the same table we had shared for 37 years. He was drinking his coffee, staring at the window. I was folding napkins, pretending everything was fine. Then he said her name. Not in anger, not in a confession. He just whispered it like he was practicing it in his mouth. Linda. I didn't say anything. I just kept folding. My hands didn't shake. My heart didn't race. Something inside me just stopped, like a clock that finally ran out of winding. You see, I had loved that man since I was 19 years old. 19. My whole life was shaped around him. His habits, his moods, his silences. I learned to read his breathing to know if he was happy or tired. I learned to cook his mother's recipes even though she never liked me. I raised our children while he worked late. I forgave him when he forgot anniversaries, birthdays, even the day our daughter graduated. I told myself that was love. Quiet, patient, forgiving love. But love is not supposed to feel like waiting. For the last 10 years of our marriage, I felt like I was standing outside a door he had locked from the inside. He was there. I could see his shadow, but he wouldn't let me in. And then one day I found out why. It was a Thursday. He had left his phone on the couch. I never checked his phone. Never. But that day something told me to look. Maybe it was the way he had been smiling at his screen for months. The way he had started dressing nicer for work. The way he looked at me like I was a piece of furniture he had grown tired of. I opened his messages, and there she was, Linda. The messages were not dirty or dramatic. They were soft. Good morning, beautiful. Can't wait to see you tonight. You make me feel young again. I read them 3 times. Each time, my stomach sank deeper. I wasn't angry. I was confused. Because he never called me beautiful. Not once in 37 years. He said I looked fine or okay. He said I was a good wife. But beautiful? No. That word was saved for someone else. I put the phone down. I walked to the bathroom. I looked at myself in the mirror. 62 years old. Gray hair I had stopped dyeing. Wrinkles around my eyes from crying alone at night. Hands that had scrubbed floors, washed dishes, held sick children. Hands that had loved him so deeply I forgot to love myself. And I thought, so this is how it ends. Not with a fight, but with a text message. He came home that evening. He kissed my forehead like always. A dry, quick kiss, like a habit. He asked what was for dinner. I told him meatloaf. He said, sounds good, and went to watch TV. I didn't confront him. Not that night, not the next night. I kept his secret like I had kept so many of his secrets. The drinking, the temper, the years he lost his job and blamed me for it. I kept everything. But a secret is a heavy thing to carry, and my back was already broken. Maybe you have felt this too. That moment when you realize the person lying next to you is already gone. His body is there, his breathing is there, but his heart left a long time ago. And you are just the woman who makes his dinner and washes his shirts. That is the loneliest kind of marriage. Not the one where you fight, the one where you stop mattering. So I kept living my life. I made his coffee. I folded his clothes. I smiled at church on Sundays. Everyone thought we were the perfect couple. So strong after all these years, they would say. Such an inspiration. If only they knew. The affair lasted 2 years before I finally said something. And when I did, he didn't deny it. He didn't apologize either. He just looked at me with tired eyes and said, I never meant to hurt you. But he did. He meant to find happiness somewhere else. He meant to give her the soft words he never gave me. He meant to choose her. and that is the part I still cannot forgive. Not the lying, not the cheating, the choosing. Because love is not a feeling, love is a choice. Every single day you choose your person, and he chose someone else. I stayed. After he told me he never meant to hurt me, after I read those soft messages he wrote to her, after I cried until my eyes were swollen and my throat was raw, I stayed. Not because I was weak, at least that's what I told myself. I stayed because I didn't know who I was without him. I had been his wife for so long that the word had become my whole name. If I left, who would make Sunday breakfast? Who would remind him to take his blood pressure medicine? Who would sit next to him at his brother's funeral? I stayed because leaving felt like admitting I had wasted my whole life. So we went on, but something had shifted. It was like living in a house after a fire. The walls were still standing, the roof was still there, but everything smelled like smoke, and you could never unsee the damage. He stopped seeing her. At least that's what he told me. He said it was over. He said he was sorry. He even cried one night, sitting on the edge of our bed, his shoulders shaking. I had never seen him cry before. Not when his father died, not when our son crashed the car, not once. And I wanted to believe him. I wanted to hold him and say, "It's okay, we can fix this." But something inside me had already closed, like a door that had been slammed too many times. I could still love him. I did love him, but I couldn't trust him anymore. And without trust, love becomes a very heavy thing to carry. The next few years were quiet, too quiet. We talked about the weather, the groceries, the grandkids, but we never talked about us. I stopped asking where he was going. He stopped asking how my day was. We became two people sharing a house, not a life. I remember one night I made his favorite dinner, pot roast with carrots and mashed potatoes. I lit a candle. I wore a nice blouse. I wanted to feel something again. I wanted him to look at me the way he used to look at me in the beginning, when I was young and pretty and he couldn't keep his hands off me. He came to the table, ate his food in 10 minutes, said tastes good, and went back to watching the news. I sat there alone with the candle burning, and I thought, this is what remains of 37 years, a candle and a cold plate. Maybe you have felt this too, the slow death of a marriage. Not a dramatic ending, just a long, quiet fade, like a photograph left in the sun. The colors disappear little by little until one day you look at it and you don't recognize the people anymore. I started going for walks alone. Every evening after the dishes were done, I would put on my coat and walk to the park near our house. I would sit on the same bench and watch the families, the young couples holding hands, the old man feeding the ducks. And I would wonder, did I do something wrong? Was I not pretty enough? Not patient enough? Not interesting enough? I asked him once near the end. I said, "What did she have that I didn't?" He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "She listened." That word broke something in me, because I had listened to that man for 40 years. I listened to his work problems. I listened to his complaints about his mother. I listened to his dreams that never came true. I listened until my ears ached. But maybe he meant something else. Maybe he meant she listened without needing anything back. She didn't ask him to fix the sink or pick up the kids or remember the anniversary. She just let him talk, and he felt free. I was not free. I was his wife, his partner, the one who reminded him of all his responsibilities. And he grew tired of looking at my face, because my face reminded him of everything he had failed to be. That was the hardest truth to swallow. I wasn't just losing him to another woman. I was losing him to his own disappointment in himself. And Linda was just an escape. But knowing that didn't make it hurt less, because I had given him everything: my youth, my body, my dreams. I wanted to be a painter once. Did you know that? I used to paint little watercolors of flowers and birds. He told me it was a waste of time, so I stopped. I stopped a lot of things for him, and in the end, he chose someone who never had to stop anything. One winter evening, I came home from my walk and found him asleep on the couch. The TV was on. His glasses were still on his face. And for a moment, I just stood there watching him. He looked old, tired, smaller than I remembered. I covered him with a blanket, and I whispered, "I still love you." He didn't hear me, but maybe that was okay, because I wasn't saying it for him anymore. I was saying it for me, to remind myself that my love had been real, even if he couldn't hold it, even if he gave it away to someone else. That night, I made a decision, not to leave, not yet, but to start remembering who I was before I became his wife. And that was the beginning of letting go. The letting go did not happen overnight. It happened in small, quiet steps, like peeling an onion, one thin layer at a time. Some layers made me cry, some made me laugh, some just made me tired. I started with small things. I bought a set of watercolor paints. Not expensive ones, just a little box from the drugstore with 8 dried cakes of color and a cheap brush. I set up a corner of the bedroom with an old tablecloth and a glass of water. The first time I tried to paint, my hands shook. I hadn't held a brush in over 40 years. I tried to paint a daisy. It looked like a yellow blob with crooked white lines. I almost threw it away, but something stopped me. I looked at that ugly little flower and I thought, this is mine. Nobody asked me to make it. Nobody will judge it. It's just for me. That feeling was strange and wonderful. He noticed the paint supplies after a few days. He didn't say much, just, "What's that for?" I said, "I used to paint, remember?" He blinked like he was searching a dark room for a memory. Then he said, "Oh, yeah," and walked away. That was fine. I wasn't painting for him. Around that time, our daughter Margaret started calling more often. She lived 3 hours away with her husband and my 2 grandkids. She had always been closer to me than to her father. She saw things. She felt the cold between us. One night she called and asked, "Mom, are you okay?" I wanted to say yes. I always said yes. But this time I paused. Then I said, "I'm learning to be okay." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "It's not too late to leave, you know." I laughed, a sad little laugh. "At my age, where would I go?" "Anywhere," she said. "You could come here." I thought about that for a long time after we hung up. The idea of leaving felt like standing at the edge of a cliff. My whole life had been in that house. The kitchen where I fed my babies, the backyard where I hung clothes on the line, the bedroom where I slept next to a man who chose someone else. But maybe that was exactly why I needed to go, because staying had started to feel like a museum. I was just the old woman walking through rooms full of memories that no longer warmed me. The second winter after his confession, something changed in him. He got sick. Not seriously, just a bad cold that lingered for weeks. He coughed all night. He lost his appetite. He looked fragile in a way I had never seen. I took care of him. Of course I did. I made him soup. I brought him tea. I fluffed his pillows. And one night, he grabbed my hand while I was setting down his medicine. He held it tight. His hand was warm and dry. He said, "I don't deserve you." I didn't say anything. I just let him hold my hand for a minute. Then I pulled away gently and said, "Drink your tea before it gets cold." I wasn't being cold. I was being honest, because I had waited my whole life to hear those words. "I don't deserve you." And when they finally came, they felt hollow. Like apology said too late to the wrong version of me. The me who needed to hear it 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That me was gone. Maybe you have felt this too, the strange sadness of finally getting what you wanted, but at the wrong time. Like finding a beautiful dress in a store, but it's 3 sizes too small. You can look at it, you can touch it, but you can never wear it. I started going to a senior center on Tuesdays, just for a few hours. They had a painting class there. Real easels and good brushes. The teacher was a woman named Rose, 75 years old, with bright purple glasses and a laugh that filled the whole room. She looked at my first painting, a sad little bowl of apples, and said, "Honey, you've got something here. Your heart is in these strokes." I almost cried. Nobody had said anything kind about something I made in decades. Rose became my first real friend in years. We would drink coffee after class and talk about our lives. She was a widow. Her husband had died 12 years ago. She told me, "I loved him more than my own breath, but I didn't know who I was until after he was gone." I told her about my marriage, about Linda, about the quiet years. She listened without judgment. Then she said, "You're still alive, Helen. Don't forget that." That word stuck with me. Alive. I had been walking through my marriage like a ghost, present but not living, breathing but not feeling. And somewhere along the way, I had forgotten that I was allowed to want more than just surviving. The 3rd winter, I finally said the words out loud, to myself, in front of the bathroom mirror. I looked at my gray hair and my tired eyes and my wrinkled hands. I said, "I am leaving him." My voice cracked, my eyes filled with tears, but my heart did not break. Because my heart had already been broken so many times that it had learned to heal in a different shape, stronger, smaller, but mine. I didn't tell him that night. I waited, I planned. I called Margaret. She cried with joy. She said, "Mom, I'm so proud of you." And I realized, letting go is not an ending, it is a beginning. The beginning of choosing yourself after a lifetime of choosing someone else. I told him on a Tuesday morning, no special reason, just that the sun was coming through the kitchen window, and I knew if I didn't say it then, I never would. He was eating his oatmeal. Same bowl he had used for 30 years. Same spoon, same slow way of chewing. I sat across from him with my coffee. My hands were steady. I said, "I'm leaving." He stopped chewing, looked up at me. For a second, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Fear? Regret? I couldn't tell. He put down his spoon. "Where will you go?" "Margaret's, just for a while. Then I'll find my own place." He nodded slowly, pushed his bowl away. He didn't ask me to stay. He didn't say he was sorry. He didn't say he loved me. He just sat there, looking at his hands, the same hands that had held another woman's face. And I realized he had already let me go a long time ago. He just forgot to tell me. The moving took 3 days. I didn't take much. My clothes, my paint supplies, a few photo albums, the little ceramic rooster I bought at a flea market when I was 25. He always hated that rooster, said it was ugly. I loved it because it was mine. Margaret drove down with her husband and the small U-Haul. She packed my things with such care, like she was handling precious gold. My son Tommy came too. He didn't say much. He just hugged me for a long time and whispered, "You did good, Mom." On the last day, I walked through the house one final time. The kitchen where I burned my first turkey. The living room where I watched my children open Christmas presents. The bedroom where I slept next to a man who stopped seeing me. I didn't cry. I had cried enough. I stood by the front door and looked back one last time. Then I turned the knob and walked out. I didn't slam the door, I just closed it quietly. Like closing a book you have read so many times that the pages are soft and the ending no longer surprises you. Maybe you have felt this too, the strange peace of leaving something that broke you. Not with anger, not with revenge, just with a quiet knowing that you deserve more than the scraps of someone else's heart. The first few months at Margaret's were hard. Not because I missed him, but because I had to learn who I was without him. I would wake up at 3 a.m. and reach for his side of the bed. It was empty. And instead of sadness, I felt relief. I could stretch my legs. I could breathe. I started painting every day. Rose from the senior center called me twice a week. She said, "You're not hiding anymore. I can see it in your colors." My colors changed. I stopped painting sad bowls of apples. I started painting sunrises, ocean waves, wildflowers growing through cracks in the sidewalk, bright yellows, deep blues, fierce oranges. One day, Margaret looked at a painting I made of a woman standing alone on a hill, looking at the sky. She said, "Is that you?" I said, "Yes, for the first time in 40 years. He called me once, about 6 months after I left. His voice sounded old, small. He said, "The house feels empty." I didn't say anything for a moment. Then I said, "It was empty long before I left." He didn't argue. He just said, "I'm sorry, Helen. I'm sorry for all of it." Those words, the ones I had waited decades to hear, and when they finally came, they didn't fill the hole. They didn't give me back my youth or my wasted years or my broken trust. But they did something else. They let me close the door completely. I said, "I forgive you," and I meant it. Not because he deserved it, but because I deserved to stop carrying the weight of his mistakes. Forgiveness was not for him. It was for me. It was me putting down a heavy bag I had been dragging for too long. We said goodbye. That was the last time I heard his voice. The life lesson I learned, the one I want to leave with you, is this. Loving someone deeply does not mean you have to drown in them. I loved that man with every piece of my heart. I gave him my best years, my patience, my dreams, and he chose someone else. That broke me. But here is what I know now. Being broken does not mean you are worthless. A broken vase can be mended with gold. The cracks become beautiful. They become proof that you survived. I am 71 years old now. I live in a small apartment with my paintings on every wall. The ceramic rooster sits on my windowsill. I have friends. I have my children and my grandkids. I have my Tuesday painting class. And I have peace. Not the fake peace of pretending everything is fine. The real peace of knowing I walked through the fire and came out still standing. I never remarried. Some people asked me if I was lonely. I tell them, loneliness is sleeping next to someone who doesn't see you. Living alone is not loneliness. It is freedom. So if you are in a marriage where you have been forgotten, where your love is not returned, where you are just the woman who cooks and cleans and waits, hear me. You are not too old to start over. You are not too weak to leave. You are not too broken to heal. He chose someone else. But in the end, I chose myself. And that was the best choice I ever made.